Richician.
Hey YouTube, Richician 84 here, and welcome back to my Q&A series, more specifically Q&A number 113. And boy, there are quite a lot of questions this week, so let's just kick this off right away. So the first questions are from Matt and Alison Welch again. 1. Deck building challenge. Challenge this time will be my third Ace signature and favourite deck. Legendary Fisherman. Do you accept this challenge? I do indeed accept the challenge. I haven't delved too much into playing sort of that deck before. The closest thing would be my generic water deck, but I'll give it a go. 2. When you brought up about some anime cards that should be a real thing, like the Land Stars, Alchemy Beasts, and Armor, do you think we will get Alistair's Gorlag that was used in the duel against Kyber when he got the Fang of Critias? I think we will, yeah. I'm actually curious as to why we never got that card. And it's been, what, 19 years since its first appearance? But I'm sure we'll get it eventually in a future Battles of Legends set. Yeah, it should be really cool. The original version of Goyo Guardian. Yeah, that should be cool to see. I don't know what sort of fire deck it would be played in, though. But we'll see. 3. You, Emma, myself, Alison, Gamer Central, Express Gaming, and Weber's 5 are in the Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Monsters era. Which characters would we each be? Obviously, characters from the Duel Monsters anime can be from each arc. Yeah, this was a really difficult question to try and figure out an answer for, not gonna lie. More difficult than the what if questions that I've been getting. Yeah, I had to think really hard about this, but here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking I would be a 10. No bias or anything. I genuinely do think that. But just because of some similarities, hence why I've chosen what I've chosen. I see similarities between like us and characters. Emma would probably be Taya. But as for you, well, this goes to a question that's going to come up later. This update question, which since you and I are both similar to Yugi, if we're both similar, one would be a Tem and the other would have to be Yugi. Yeah, to answer both questions at the same time, I would have to say you would probably be Yugi for sure. It, it's hard to explain these similarities. Yeah, it's just hard to put into words, but this is the best I can think of. Alison would probably be Serenity. Gamer Central, I can see being Tristan. Express Gaming, Joey, for sure. I know he's more of a fan of Kyber and Blue Eyes White Dragon, but I just see more similarities between him and Joey, more than Kyber, to be fair. And speaking of, I would consider Weber's 5 to be Kyber, basically. But in the sense that of all the people in both groups, Weber's 5 is the most competitive player, whereas in the main cast of original series characters, Kaiba is the most competitive duelist. Um, yeah, that's the similarity that I see. I don't see any other similarities, especially considering that Weber's 5 is obviously a much nicer person than Kaiba, which we can all agree on. Um, uh, yeah, this is the best I can think of. Um, it's kind of hard to explain why. There's just a few similarities. I mean, I could probably try and touch on exact similarities if you guys really wanted me to, but it would just be hard to explain. Next questions are from Starlight William Magician. 1. If you could give more support cards to any deck of your choosing, what would it be? Light Rays. Definitely Light Rays, which is something I've been saying quite a few times in previous videos. Light Rays have become one of my absolute favourite decks to play. I love the concept of light counterparts. Um, it's just a shame that there's only 6 monsters within the whole archetype. There are 5 in Galactic Overlord, then just 1 in Return of the Duelist. And there's been nothing since, and that was 11 years ago. I don't know why that archetype didn't get any more support. Shame, really. As they're really cool, they're really fun to play. Even though the deck's now been retired, I still have my online build, of course. But yeah, of all the archetypes that I think could do with more support, it would definitely be Light Rays. Although there are others that I think could do with support. I'm thinking about doing like a top 5 or 10 video on archetypes that I think should get more support. And spoiler alert, Light Rays and Guardians would be on that list. 2. What cards would you like to see as a fusion in the future? Well, I've got 3 ideas, one of which is a fusion between Elemental Hero Neos and Cyber Dragon, or Cyber End Dragon. I think that would be really cool. We've already had Rainbow Neos, the fusion of Neos and Rainbow Dragon, and more recently we've had Armed Neos, a fusion of Neos and an Armed Dragon monster. So yeah, I think it's about time Neos fused with Zane's Ace monster. That would be cool. Other 2 ideas are something that I already talked about before. Um, and 2 of them are Dark Magician fusions. Now, I know, obviously, Dark Magician has more than enough support. I want to see a fusion between Dark Magician and Summon Skull, and a fusion between Dark Magician and Kariba. That has to happen. Like, Dark Magician has already fused with various other monsters that Yugi plays, plus Red Eyes Black Dragon. So it's time for Summon Skull and Karibo, 2 of my favourite fiends, shine. Also just remembered I was going to make a joke in response to your first question and say the Dark Magician, which would be followed by saying, I'm joking, Dark Magician has enough support already. And that's coming from me. But I still like those 2 fusion monsters. Please make it happen, Konami. 3. What is your opinion on the new TG support? Looks pretty good. Now, I actually forget which new support is which. So I've had to turn to Edo Pro. Rocket Salamander, I don't know if it is one of the new cards or is something we already have. Oh yeah, ignore my Egyptian god profile for a moment there. Um, but yeah, as for Rocket Salamander, um, yeah, that's really cool and helps Swarm and get a synchro out. Very cool. I don't even know if they've had any new main deck monsters. This one, I know is a new card, TG Clave Blaster. This card is scary. Um, just banishing an extra deck monster just like that. And then special summoning it. Um, yeah, that's pretty wild. Is it better than good old Halberd Cannon? I don't know. Yeah, that negates summons. Um, yeah, I'd say Clave Blaster is a lot better. Um, yeah, I know this is an old one. I don't know why I never considered it for my Stardust Junk deck. Yeah, this one I know is a new one. Uh, Dragonar. Um, yeah, that just it's really good. It's great for spamming out more TG monsters and just synchro climbing. Something the archetype definitely needs to help build up to the bigger guys. Mighty Striker, I know, is a new one. I love how it's a retrain of TG Striker. Who remembers when that went to one? Uh, God, that was a while ago. And on the March 12 ban list, one of the shittest ban lists ever. Anyway, I digress. Yeah, that's cool. It's good that they've got another uh, tuner synchro to help synchro someone on the opponent's turn. Very handy for sure. Um, and also great at grabbing whatever spell or trap you need from the deck as well. Um, oh, and has sort of the same effect. If this is sent from your monster zone to the graveyard, add a TG card from your deck to your hand, so not just a monster. Because if I remember correctly, all the main deck monsters only float if they get destroyed, or almost all of them, I should say. Um, yeah, destroyed. Not all of them have that effect, which is interesting. Um, yeah, I think this is a new card as well, unless I'm mistaken. Um, their own version of Onomatopoeia. Um, discarding a card and grabbing two different TG monsters. That's really great. Um, and recycles itself by banishing a TG. At least that's what I'm guessing. Yeah. Yeah, that I think is an old card. This one I know is new. That's really cool. Um, sorry if you can't see the full image, by the way. Yeah, I've got my recording set up as an awkward angle here. Yeah, it's great, giving you an additional normal summon to help swarm the field. That's good for any synchro spam deck. Um, and there's also another searcher just by destroying a TG. So yeah, that's really, really good. Let's see. I think this is a new trap. I'm not quite sure. Um, it's hard to remember everything that we got in Battles of Legend 3 and was it Dark Neostorm that we got TG support in? Or was it the set before Savage Strike? Can't remember. It's been a while. Um, so yeah, that's their own Infernity Barrier. Um, and recycles itself. Um, yeah, very good support. Definitely makes it a very strong deck. One more thing I have to say. I really hate this card, TGEMI. Yes, it's one of the old ones, but I want to say that I fucking hate this card a lot. Um, until recently, it's a card I forgot existed. Um, purely because of one time when an old friend of mine, Timby, was playing TGs, and he used it to steal my Dark Magician. Yeah, that was not nice. Nobody turns my favourite monster against me. No one. This makes it worse than creature swap. Yeah, it's archetype specific, but still, fuck that card. 4. Thoughts on the Malefic deck. Gunnar actually already asked me this question in a previous episode. Um, uh, yeah, Malefics I do really like as well. It's not a favourite deck, but it is uh, something that I quite like a lot. So I like the concept. Having corrupted versions of well-known monsters. Um, and they're just even better now thanks to the support we got from, what was it, Dual Overload. Um, that being said, there was one time where I did absolutely hate Malefics. It was only for a little while though, and that was when I got done in by them back in August 2014 when I was playing Dark Magic Swarm for the last time. It's a story I already told, both in my 2014 Yu-Gi-Oh! History video and a previous Q&A episode. Um, yeah, it was one of the most bullshit matches I ever had. Um, So, yeah, game one, I managed to win with no problems, but game two, I got stuck behind a board of Skill Drain, Mound of the Bound Creator, and Malefic Cyber End, and I couldn't do anything to break my opponent's board. I was resorting to stalling behind Colossal Fighter and Necro Gardener. Um, and I was just waiting to draw into MST, but I just wasn't drawing it. Um, and then I was just taking way too much damage thanks to Mound of the Bound Creator, and then eventually I had to scoop, and then by time game three started, time on the round was called, so yeah, it would have been the 4-turn rule back then. So I went first. Don't remember what I did, but I know he got out a different field spell and Malefic Cyber End again and did loads of damage to me. And I was stuck what to do. Now, I did have a way to make Starleech Paladynamo and drop Malefic Cyber End's attack to 0, but my life points still would have been lower. Um, and I was trying desperately to think of a way to get mine higher, but there was just nothing, so I had to scoop it up. Um, yeah, I was really not happy about that. Um, Uh, yeah, I was just annoyed and salty. Um, and what also didn't help was that at the time I was also heartbroken because um, a relationship with a previous girlfriend had ended like uh, earlier in the day. Um, I could have just not gone to that tournament, but I didn't want to miss out. Um, and I thought playing Yu-Gi-Oh would take my mind off the breakup, um, but it didn't help things. And I haven't played Dark Magic Sworn since, except the last round, which I did win. But um, I stopped playing Dark Magic Sworn after that and vowed never to play a Light Sworn deck of any kind ever again. Um, and it made me hate them, but not for the same reason that I hate the other decks that I hate. The only reason I hate Light Sworns is because they hate me and Dark Magician and just don't want to work for me. Um, I mean, yeah, I did have a one game using Emma's Light Sword, but that was a one-time exception as I was helping teach her how to play them, along with the fact that I play some Light Sworn monsters um, in my Light Ray and Legendary Knight decks, but they're still not considered Light Sworns. They're just cards that help make the decks work. I love how I went from talking about Malefics to Light Sworns. Um, but no, eventually I got over my hatred of Malefics. And don't see a reason to hate them now. And as far as I'm concerned, that bullshit match is all in the past. Um, that being said, I am also thinking about doing a top 5 or 10 video talking about the most bullshit matches I ever had. I can't think of that many, but um, yeah, let me know in the comments if you guys want to see that. 5. What are your top 3 decks to play? Well, everyone should know this by now. Dark Magician, Elemental Heroes, and Rainbow Neos. I mean, they're the signature 3. Like, there's nothing else that fits the bill. I just have more fun playing those decks than any other deck in the game. 6. Thoughts on coin lock decks? Oh, I love them. They're so cool. I'm more of a fan of like cards involving dice. In fact, um, I did make my own luck-based deck a while back, Casino Night, where almost all the cards are coin toss and dice roll decks. I don't have the deck in real life, but I've still got it on Edo Pro. I'm just bewildered that it beat my evil heroes in one of the Halloween duels. Um, yeah, that was really bizarre. Um, but no, I do like them, and I do like the Arcana Force monsters as well. Um, that's something we don't see a lot of. Um, no, I am a fan of it. 7. Thoughts on stall god decks? I've never heard of a stall god deck. Um, is it meant to be one of the god card archetypes with stall cards? I'm going to need more information here. Excuse me. 8. If you could give an Egyptian god more support, what one would it be? Easy. Slifer the Sky Dragon. Although Obelisk is my favourite, Slifer needs a lot more support, as Ra already has a ton of support. Obelisk has well, quite a few support cards, including a Searcher, whereas Slifer only has 2. Thunder Force attack and the revived Sky God. Um, and it's just weird that it doesn't have its own search, unlike um, Ra and Obelisk. I mean, yeah, there is Thunder Speed Summon, but that's not really direct Slifer support, and it only works with the Pokémons. So Slifer definitely needs a searcher outside of that archetype. Um, I don't know what else it could get, but yeah, Slifer definitely um, needs more support for sure. And I know Express Gaming will agree with me on that, since that's his favourite Egyptian god. Speaking of, the next 6 questions are from him. Uh, some Would You Rather Halloween. Would You Rather questions Halloween edition. Well, it's a bit late for Halloween, but I will answer them anyway. 1. If you never got into Yu-Gi-Oh, what other card game would you have gone for? I actually wouldn't have played any card games, because um, before September 2003, trading card games wasn't my thing, as I've never ever had any interest in Pokemon or Digimon or Magic the Gathering. In fact, I don't think I knew about Magic the Gathering's existence back then. Um, no, it just wasn't my thing. Um, so yeah, Yu-Gi-Oh did take me by surprise as a game that I found very enjoyable. Um, no, I think I would have just stuck with playing on my original Xbox in terms of gaming fun, um, and maybe even the other versions as time went on. 360, the Xbox One. Um, in fact, on a side note, I'm thinking about selling those consoles just because I hardly ever use them anymore. Um, and I need to make money for my wedding. It would be a shame to see those consoles go, but I might as well, since I hardly ever play video games anymore. 2. If you were an actor instead of the current job you're doing, what TV show or films would interest you acting? I'm not sure about what films I'd go, though, um, um, but I would definitely love the role of either a heroic character, a comic relief, or a villain. Like, I feel like I'm the type of guy that could play any of those kinds of roles. Um, that could be fun to get into. Um, so anything involving that kind of role. As for TV shows, I feel like I'd want to be in a comedy sitcom, like Friends or The Big Bang Theory. Um, as I also definitely feel like I'm the kind of person who would fit into the world of comedy sitcoms. Um, Something like that would definitely be up my street. Maybe rather than something dramatic. Like, drama's not really my thing. Um, well, except maybe like fantasy dramas like True Blood and Vampire Diaries, but nothing concerning real life stuff, like soaps or like TV dramas. No way. That's depressing, at least in my opinion. 3. Would you rather be trapped in a pool of vampire blood and turning into one, or turn into an undead zombie and kill all your friends and family? I'm definitely gonna go with the pool of vampire blood and turn into a vampire because the zombie stuff just sounds dreadful. 4. Would you rather be an undead skeleton that can talk or a pumpkin that can talk? I think I'd rather be a skeleton, just so that way I can still move around. Whereas if I was a pumpkin that can talk, I can't go anywhere and I feel helpless just being stuck in one place, along with getting destroyed easily somehow. Like accidentally being pushed off the table and breaking. Um, Unless, of course, it's a floating pumpkin that can just float about, which would be its own method of moving. Sounds unrealistic, I know, but then again, walking skeletons and talking pumpkins is unrealistic. So, you know, it is what it is. Uh, 5. Would you rather be a ghost or a demon? I say probably a ghost. Um, just because it's the closest thing to being immortal, really. Um, then again, it doesn't sound great seeing loved ones and friends just pass away. And while I sort of live on, unless of course they become ghosts as well, and we just hang around the earth until the end of time. Um, Whereas demons, I feel like have more weaknesses than ghosts. Of course, that being said, I'm no supernatural expert, but that's what I feel like. I'm pretty sure demons would be vulnerable to stuff like holy water and crosses. Unless, of course, that only applies to vampires. I'm not quite sure. But I know it's easier to get rid of a demon than a ghost, I would have thought. Unless a demonologist can say otherwise or prove me wrong here. Um, anyway, point is, I think I'd rather be a ghost. And 6. Would you rather be chased and hunted down by Michael Myers or Ghostface? I would say Michael Myers. I mean, yeah, he is ridiculously strong, but he does walk and not run, which is really weird. Um, at least because he's a large guy, he's easier to see coming, and I can outrun him. Um, Whereas Ghostface is like faster and more flexible, and he can just hide and come out of nowhere and then BAM! Get you just like that. Um, Especially since you don't even know where Ghostface is hiding. Um, Damn that. That's all I can say. Um, Also, on a side note, I still need to watch Scream 6. And the last three questions are from Weber's 5. Um, 1. Carlton suggested since tournament participation has been going down that we start doing lower tier deck tournaments. If I start this, would you be interested? I don't know, to be honest. I have mixed feelings about this. I guess if George and Cal jump in on this, or Cookie, Rory, and Gremlin, um, all five of them, then maybe I'd join in as well. But at the same time, I'm just not so sure. Just hesitant about this for a number of reasons. Um, One of which being is that I said in my 20th anniversary wrap up video, 36-minute one I did recently, um, is that I decided that I don't want to play in any more tournaments of any kind. Um, not just because of bullshit, unfair decks, but it's just for the fact that ever since my temporary return, like a couple of months back, um, my luck in tournaments has been the absolute worst. I just think, besides two matches that I won, uh, one with Yugi Gadgets against Cyber Dragons, and the other against with Exodia against Eldritch, I've just completely scrubbed out and lost all my games, um, which really put me down in the dumps and really broke my confidence. Um, and it just felt like a waste of entry money. It's like, great, I spent £9, or £7 if you count the tournament where I did uni tournament where I played Ice Barriers, uh, to lose all my games. It just didn't feel worth it. Like, it just feels too much like a waste of money, and that I got nothing out of it. Um, Even that goat format tournament was just absolute bullshit. Um, Even though in none of the games I wasn't really done in by Ring of Destruction for the game, um, my luck was just horrible. Like in our matchup, I was doing so well in game one and almost had you, but then I just bricked right at the end and just lost momentum. Um, well, after you turn the duel around in your favour, and then um, Jinzo screwed me over, and I just didn't draw what I needed. Um, Kind of the same against Steve. I just lost too much momentum and ended up losing horribly. Um, um, so yeah, it got to the point where I don't even want to play in pass format tournaments anymore. Um, so it's like I said in that video, I don't know what's going on with my tournament progress. Could be a number of things. Like maybe it's my choice of decks that I was playing recently. Maybe it's just the fact that the opponent simply has better cards. Um, or maybe it's the fact that I just never seem to draw the right card when I need it. Um, or maybe I've just lost my touch as a tournament participant, or maybe it's just down to pure bad luck. I don't know what it is, but it's just put me off big time and broken my confidence, and now I just don't want to do tournaments anymore. Um, the other thing is, it also depends on what decks would be played in these tournaments, and among all the decks we have, um, it's a question of what's considered low tier and what isn't. I mean, all I can say is if Endymion and Infernoids are involved, um, I don't really want to participate, as I don't ever want to deal with either of those decks again. Like, if I can help it. Um, I mean, I've ranted about Endymion more than enough times, but yeah, I really fucking hate Infernoids. I really do. Like, all they ever do is OTK, banish stuff from my graveyard, and just negate everything with a Nuka Deviety. So infuriating. Um, so that being said, if Plunder Patrol is involved, I'd give it a go and enter Elemental Heroes, because I do still have this goal of trying to beat Plunder Patrol with Elemental Heroes once and for all, even though Plunder Patrols are a bad matchup for Elemental Heroes. mind you, they have had that support since the last time they faced off. So who knows how the matchup would go. Um, yeah, like I said, I'm in two minds about this, but I just don't know if I'd be up for it at the moment. Two, how was your anniversary? It was absolutely fantastic, thank you. It was just so amazing having my first ever 2 year anniversary. It was great. I bought Emma roses, and I even gave her two presents to um, sort of go with a theme. Um, Plus, my presents were a different theme. I gave her this book about the movie Titanic, and I also got her a Heart of the Ocean bracelet. Um, we made each other some epic cards as well. I made her a nice big one on Moonpig. Uh, she made me this one. Some of you might have seen this on Facebook. But yeah, this card did contain a plastic bottle of espresso martini. Yeah, I nearly forgot the name. Now, there was also supposed to be some confetti which was meant to pop out and surprise me, but the people who made it seem to have forgotten to put it in. Um, as for what she got me, oh my legs! She gave me a cat squishmallow, which was really cute and awesome. Yeah, this one's called Gigi. Um, yeah, it was difficult for her to think of something to get me, so I tried to make it as simple as possible, like say a cat squishmallow, any cat squishmallow. And she got me this one. Um, and I have quite a few. Pretty much all of them came from her. All the ones I have. Of course, I don't have as many as she does. Um, but um, it's nice that I've kind of got involved in her big interest as well. Then, of course, we went out to dinner at the same place we went to on our first anniversary, um, and had amazing meals. And we were surprised with champagne. Um, I guess the people at the restaurant knew that it was our anniversary. Um, yeah, we took like a 45-minute walk there and a 45-minute walk back, even though it was dark. It's kind of cool though, walking in the dark right by seafront. So cool. I swear I even saw a lightning strike like on the horizon on the top of the ocean as well. Um, I think Emma was kind of jealous because she loves watching storms as well. Um, and then we had a glass of wine when we got back to hers. So, yeah, all in all, it was a good day. Wish it didn't have to end. Um, hey, um, at least the next best thing we can do together to celebrate, hopefully, will be our wedding, if not Valentine's, or of course Christmas together. um, 3A, did you see my new video of my Pokemon battle? Um, I saw the very start of it, but I didn't watch the whole thing. Um, so I guess I can go to the next question, 3B. If so, did you like my overlay? I did notice that little overlay at the start. I didn't see the whole thing though. Um, I guess I can't really answer the last question. Did you find the giant card of effects helpful? I feel like I would have done if I did, but like the thing is, obviously no disrespect, but I don't watch the Pokemon and Digimon videos because, as I said before, I'm not interested in Pokemon and Digimon. Um, I'm afraid. So, regarding your content, I'd prefer to just keep watching your Yu-Gi-Oh content, your own Q&A series, um, and of course, uh, any Smite videos if you decide to do any more. Um, and yeah, that is it for this episode. This was a lot longer than I thought it would be. That's what she said. Ha! Anyway, so yeah, thanks a lot for your guys' questions. If you have any other questions you want to ask me, post them in the comments down below. And remember, I do these episodes every Tuesday afternoon or evening UK time, so be sure to get your question before then so that you don't miss out. Thanks again. Stay safe, you guys, and I'll catch you later. Bye. Thank you very much for watching. Be sure to subscribe to the Dark Richician YouTube channel.